Do you believe in aliens?
I kind of think there's a possibility that there's another, like, kind of a race like us that has developed so much and advanced so much that they've become like an androgynous, like, human.
Because I mean, you do wonder, like, where did that idea of the alien that we see, where did that come from? It's obviously might have come from somewhere, that maybe someone has seen something like that, but
But it could be
also
fictional.
exactly, like,
You know,
people have
yeah.
vivid imaginations.
Where does this idea what these aliens look like, for example, this stereotypical gray? That's a great question, and that is, many of the abductees have relayed that that is exactly what they see, for example. But I think that, most aliens, the ones, for example, that I talk about, you wouldn't be able to tell if they're from Earth or from another planet, from elsewhere, because the ancient astronaut theory suggests that we are their offspring and that they changed our DNA artificially. In the Bible, it says that the so-called gods created man in their own image. So this is something of the ancient astronaut theory that we've suggested for a very long time, that the aliens are us and we are the aliens. And so, of course, there may be planets somewhere where you have pink flying elephants or something like that, but those are not the aliens that I'm after. I'm after the aliens that taught us in the past and that, for all intents and purposes, kind of look like us.
Strange interviews this guy who was abducted. Hard-working man that was a logger. They're driving down, this UFO appears out of nowhere through the woods. He was with 6 other guys. Tells the guys to stop. He gets out of the truck, be like, I want to see it before it takes off.
Because he sees this UFO floating in the forest.
They're like, get back in the truck. And a light beams down on him. It was like he was electrocuted and like went up like 30 feet in the air. They freaked out, drove off. They stopped on the way into town, turned back. He wasn't there. They reported it instantly to the sheriff.
They're immediately under suspicion for murder.
You would have to be. Yeah. 5 days later, he reappears. He thought he was only gone for an hour. When he was on this craft, he woke up. He thought he was in the hospital. He saw what he thought were doctors around him. Vision cleared, and they were aliens. Rolled off the table, said he was in so much pain, and then said it looked like a human walked in. He's like, oh, thank goodness. And the human didn't say anything. And they grabbed him and started putting him down on the table. With all his strength, he was trying to get away. It was like I was doing nothing. Put a mask over me, and then I woke up in the woods. He's like, I know, it sounds crazy.
What? The National Guard will be deployed for total solar eclipse on April 8th. Why? Why does the National Guard need to be deployed for a solar eclipse? What's so concerning? I mean, all right, you had me a little with the keeping the kids away from school. I was like, why would you do that? It's only a solar eclipse, but whatever, okay. And now the National Guard needs to be deployed. And, on top of that, what's the deal with stocking up on food and making sure your batteries are all charged? Like, what do they think is going to happen during this solar eclipse? I mean, I thought it was just the moon goes in front of the sun, it gets a little dark, and everything is fine. I don't understand why we need the National Guard, why we need to shut down schools, why we need to stock on supplies, and why do we need our batteries fully charged for an eclipse? What the hell's going on? Now, I know this is gonna seem like some conspiracy shit, but you need to watch the show Three Body Problem on Netflix. It just dropped today, and I'm watching it, and in the first 15 minutes of this weird show that has to do with CERN in... Oh, look at this clip. This is this new mini TV series on Netflix, and look what just came up. Look at this.
You're going into a deep, deep sleep. Your eyes are getting heavy. We're going back to September 19, 1961.
I'm Betty Hill, and my husband Barney and I were the first to be abducted by astronauts from another solar system.
What makes the Betty and Barney case so extraordinary is they're the first Americans to claim to be abducted. It's the first time that hypnosis was used to regress people to recover those memories.
Betty wanted to understand this and to unlock the secrets, if you will, of everything that happened.
I don't know where we are. I don't even know how we got here. I was afraid when I saw the men in the road.
Men in the road.
I never been so afraid in my life.
It seems pretty clear what the aliens were doing. It's a medical exam.
The examiner has a long needle, and he put it in my navel.
Do they keep coming back? Have they gotten what they want, or is there a further motive?
I believed we had seen and been a part of something different than anything seen before.
Broadcasting live on Friday, March 8th, in the year 2024. The secret is out. UFO sightings in the 60s were classified military aircraft tests, with Pentagon propaganda finger-pointing, blaming the government for the lie of aliens. While the government currently is tracking something over Alaska that is not a weather balloon. Oh, wait, what? And finally, science has determined that what type of music you listen to says a lot about your personality, with empathetic people preferring mellow musical melodies. And if you like pumping that bass, then yo ass is psychotic. Yo, don't front. Trust the science, bruh. From the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman.
Hey, man. I just want to get on here and say, I've been seeing a whole lot of these little UFO videos and all this little stuff that they be having going on, bro. Look, man, I'm going to say it like this. There ain't no such thing as no damn alien. No such thing. They don't exist. The only thing that an alien could possibly be, bro, is a fallen angel. There's nothing else that it could possibly be. Because I be scrolling through TikTok and I see all these people, they be talking about, oh, just go back in time. You can see the Sumerians, the Anunnaki, they had all these writings on the wall. Bro, they got tricked too. Look, bro, this is really what it is. All of this alien stuff is being used as a smokescreen to take people's eyes away from God, bro. And to make them believe that it's actually possible that life can exist in this universe without God's intervention. Let me ask you this. If you believe in God, how is it possible that there could be a whole race of creatures that live on an entirely different planet and they're not under God's jurisdiction in any way? Even Lucifer, the God of this world, has to check in with God. He can't do nothing of his own free, like you know what I'm saying? Like, bro. So that's why when I be seeing all this UFO alien stuff and people be falling for it. Y'all be all up in the comments falling for that, bro. I'm like, bro, come on, man. But I don't hold it against you because I think everyone goes through that point in their life. Like, man, is there life out there for real? Is it really God? Do we have everything right? But let me tell you something, bro. If you got God, then you got it right, bro. And his son, Jesus Christ, who died for the sins of the whole world. I have no shame talking about this no more, bro. Because they saved my life from death. So, I'm only saying that to say this, man. Look, just be aware of what they be trying to put on us through the media. Because a lot of it is just BS. That's why I made the video with the demon face possession thing, bro. I'm gonna talk about that some other time, but that's crazy still. Hey, man, stay safe out there. God bless y'all, for real. Stay up.
I honestly think it's insane for them to try to lie and say that that boat accident was an accident. You could see on the video they driving the boat straight into the fucking bridge. But he lost control. It don't look like that motherfucker lost control to me. One of the biggest ports. Oh, okay. We still got the war in Israel happening. We got motherfuckers trying to ban TikTok where you find out this information because the news ain't gonna tell us. They only tell us what they want us to know. They know that's how young people get the media. Then they doing all this distraction shit in hip hop because they trying to get you to forget that they want to ban side hustles. Yeah, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Lyft, Uber. You're fucked. My whole thing, like, is it fuck America? Is it fuck Americans? Is this not our society? Shouldn't y'all be doing shit for the betterment of society? Or y'all mad because we destroying capitalism? Oh.
US Congress cuts funding to NASA while corporations fund more space missions. The Space Force budget exceeds NASA. The UFO Disclosure Project attorney Danny Sheehan recounts his encounter with Project Blue Book files in 1977 that contain photos of a retrieved downed UFO. President Eisenhower's role in secret agreements reached with aliens are revealed in his great-granddaughter's first book on his presidency. Analysis of the historical Arrow report discusses the July 1952 shoot-down attempt against flying saucers involved in the Washington flyover. And there are 4 primary goals in the Arrow historical report pointing to a coming UFO false flag event. These and other stories on Exopolitics Today, the Week in Review.
Cool light show going on here, but don't know how it's doing this.
Whoa. Oh, then it starts over again.
And it has like a whole bunch of different patterns that it's doing.
I don't know, that's true.
Whoa. Oh wow. It's doing all sorts of trippy shit. Where is that coming from? I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from.
That mean at the bottom.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know. Must be some kind of loop.
I've never seen any kind of like lights like this ever anywhere.
I can't tell how far that is.
I know.
I went to CIA.gov and I'm going to read you this report. It's a document from the KGB in Russia. One of the CIA representatives referred to the case as a, quote, picture that makes one's blood freeze. A quiet, low-flying spaceship in the shape of a saucer appeared above a military unit. Someone unexpectedly launched a surface-to-air missile and hit the UFO. It fell to Earth not far away, and 5 short humanoids with large heads and large black eyes, end quote, emerged from it. The aliens came close together and then, quote, merged into a single object that acquired a spherical shape, end quote. At that very instant, 23 soldiers who watched this phenomenon turned into ... stone poles.
What?
Only 2 soldiers who stood in the shade were less exposed. Specialists assumed that the source of energy that is still unknown to
underground base. Perhaps the reason why we haven't seen any Martians on the surface is because they're all located underground. Well, unfortunately, this doorway is only about 30 centimeters tall, but perhaps a small alien race. Nah, it's just another natural thing that looks man-made. You know, if you take enough photos of a cliff or of the surface of another planet, you're gonna find things that look man-made, kind of similar to the Bigfoot-looking thing captured on the surface by the Spirit rover in 2007. In fact, there's been a ton of strange things that have been captured by rovers throughout the years, so let's just do a quick intriguing. It kind of looks organic, almost like a piece of coral or something. This was discovered by the Curiosity rover in February of 2022. This is actually a lot smaller than you think. In fact, it's smaller than a penny. It does have an organic look to it, but according to the experts, it's just a diagenic crystal cluster, aka a little mini mineral flower, and this was caused by flowing water. Later that year, in June of 2022, the Curiosity rover took this image of strange looking elephant trunks sticking vertically out of the surface. These are actually a type of casting. They form when a smaller, more compact cement-like material leaks into small holes in softer rocks, and then over a long period of time, blowing sand erodes those softer rocks away, and you're left with these spikes sticking out of the ground. Kind of like if you had like limestone here on Earth with like holes in it, and you poured like cement in it. You know, you could sandblast that limestone and it would look something like this. The same process actually happened in this image as well. I know what you're thinking. That's totally a serpent's tail fossil. No, it's not. It does look kind of sketch though.
When we can finally say with confidence that the most unlikely sounding theories about UFOs are actually true. Yes, these things are real. They're not all weather balloons. They're not experimental aircraft from this or any other country. Whatever they are not of human origin, nor do they behave according to the laws of known physics. And yes, the US government currently has physical evidence that they exist. That means wreckage of the craft as well as the bodies of the beings that flew them.
I had this experience in the house where about 9 o'clock p.m., I looked over my left shoulder. When I turned back, two what you would describe as gray aliens were in front of my face. And I didn't know what to do. I tried to scream. No sound was coming out of my throat. Whatever they were doing was making my brain shake in my skull. And then as fast as that happened, they just turned around and they dangled away. They don't even walk like a regular walk. This phrase, worldwide telescope, was burning in my mind over and over again. It just came out of nowhere, worldwide telescope. I get up, I go on my computer, I type in worldwide telescope, and then worldwidetelescope.org is the first search result. I almost fell out of my chair. I click on it, I open it up, it gives you the sky view, it gives you access to the rover images, but from the perspective of the rovers on Mars. But the anomalies that I was seeing are things that look similar to ancient structures on Earth. And I go, wait a minute, wait a minute. Is this really Mars? So I start downloading these images and screen.
On March 2nd, 2024, a UFO crashed into the ice of Antarctica.
Another massive bunker they're building, getting ready. Some people saying it's over this solar eclipse that's coming. Check this out right here. Look at this. They've been building on it and building on it. Look, there it is. They won't let me zoom in no more. I mean, I think we can go 2D on it. Yeah, you can't like get the little lines to show up to like to click on the road. Massive bunker. Look at all the white SUVs, you know, from the state government employees there. It goes in. Don't have no exit nowhere. Everybody says it goes down about 14 stories, and then it breaks over and goes into the mountains everywhere over in here. Yep, people better get ready at Solar Eclipse, April the 8th. Know what you know. See ya.
Did you hear about the Pentagon's media roundtable that they held on March 6th about the upcoming UFO report? My guess is that you probably haven't, and there's a good reason for that. And that's because they've imposed an information embargo on any information related to the upcoming AARO historical report. Now, before I talk about how they're attempting to strategically influence the public's consumption and interpretation of the upcoming historical report on UFOs, I'd like to speculate on why AARO, a public-facing government organization that is committed to the greatest transparency and shared awareness with the public according to their vision statement, would be willing to contradict themselves and be complicit with an information embargo. My guess is that what's playing out right now before our eyes is an effort to control the focus of the immediate 24-hour news cycle as a means to shape the opinions of the public. Which is a quote that I pulled directly out of Susan Go's 2003 research project titled The Evolution of Strategic Influence. And of course, Susan Go is well known for having strategic influence over all the communications coming from the Pentagons in regards to UFOs, and was even seen shadowing Sean Kirkpatrick at a public speaking event late last year. So, if the Pentagon wanted to control the 24-hour news cycle immediately after the release of AARO's upcoming historical report, how would they do it? They'd probably start by holding an invitation-only, in-person, non-televised media briefing for a hand-picked few members of the press, like they just did on March 6th. They'd probably also deny any request to attend by news outlets that scrutinize the Pentagon's UFO investigation efforts, like News Nation, which they also did. And then they'd probably give that small group of hand-picked reporters an early copy of AARO's historical report before they give it to the public. That way, those lucky members of the media would have time to go ahead and write articles that could then be dropped at the same moment that the AARO historical report is released, immediately influencing the 24-hour news cycle. And those pre-written articles, as Stephen Greenstreet points out, would probably then be copied, pasted, and repeated by other news outlets that are rushing the cover of the story that weren't given the benefit of having a 2-day head start. Which sounds like a great way to control the 24-hour news cycle, don't you think? Oh, and they're also releasing it on a Friday, which is traditionally when the government releases news that they don't want people to pay attention to. So much for transparency and shared awareness.